Guess what? You ever just stop to just connect with yourself, connect with the sun? Feels good. It feels really good to slow down, slow your roll. I was thinking for the longest time, I used to struggle with something that's called the spirit of irritation. Oh shit. To be irritable. The spirit of irritation. You got that? Can you relate to that? Being short, being angry, being anxious, irritated with what other people are doing. I think it has a lot to do with control. And I also just think that you're just not taking care of yourself. Think about it. When do you become irritated? Do you ever get hangry? I know I do. If I'm not in like a fasting mode and I'm not hitting my macros and just like making sure that I'm on my nutrition, man, I get irritated. I can tell you there's times, this is like a personal thing, but there's times like if I need to use the restroom, like just take a pee, and if I don't do that and just take care of myself, versus like just saying, I don't got time for it, right? I don't got time for it. And then you're like carrying around this unmet need of your own, trying to be present with others, and it's irritating you. And I think a lot of it has to do with, is it people pleasing? Right? I think a lot of it has to do with just, we don't really know how to take care of ourselves. It's sort of like, you ever get a rock in your shoe? Are you someone that just ignores it? Or are you someone that says, oh wait, there's something in my shoe, hold on, let me stop? I mean, it takes really being present to do that. To stop, to take care of yourself. And that's really, isn't that this whole entire message? Self-care, self-love, which is such a new concept, ain't it? It's such a new concept. I know if it's a new concept for me. Maybe you've been doing this for a long time. It doesn't feel like it's been that many years that I've really actually said, you know what, I gotta take care of myself. Well, how do I take care of myself? Right? I make sure I get my mind right first thing in the morning. And I can tell you a day like today, right? It's been a good day. It's been a really good day. But some of my priorities are out of order. And that alone can create some stress, some anxiety, some frustration. Because you say, well, shit, I wanted to work out early. But instead, I prioritized this other thing that mattered. And then I prioritized another thing. And then here we are. The sun's already starting to set. And I'm like, shit, I put that on my list. What's on your list today? What's your 3 things that matter to you today? Did you take care of them? Did you make time to invest in yourself? Do you start every day journaling, meditating, listening to positive affirmations, reflecting on the things you did good, some things you could do better? I mean, that level of self-accountability in just those little doses every morning, 30 minutes, an hour. And yes, maybe you have to go to bed earlier. Maybe you got to start waking up earlier. Aren't those good habits, healthy habits? If you're someone that's always finding yourself staying up late, doom scrolling, just kind of being distracted versus having a morning routine, how to kind of land the ship at the end of the day, doing some reflection, doing some nighttime affirmations. I mean, the work is not that difficult. It's just, are you able to create the patterns, the habits, and the new routine that's gonna feel uncomfortable. It's gonna feel uncomfortable if you're not used to taking care of yourself, if you're not used to getting good sleep, if you're not used to listening to something or watching something that's, right, maybe what some of us would call boring. It's boring. It's so boring. That's because you need to be entertained. Where does that desire come from? A need to be entertained. That means you want to be distracted. That means you need to have someone else occupying your attention. Because if they're not, think about it. If your attention isn't being utilized by someone else's talents, right? Well, then where's your attention going to go? Well, usually it starts going in your head. And if you don't like what's going on in your head, then guess what? You're going to want to be entertained. And so many people are at war with themselves. Are you at war with yourselves? How's that battle going for you so far? Are you up? Are you down? You winning? You losing? Right? You're learning some new things. You're learning from those mistakes. You're putting in the time. Right? You investing in you. Right? Trying new things, doing new things, formulating new neural pathways, brushing your teeth with your left hand instead of your right. Or are you just still sitting there waiting for something to happen? Waiting for the stars to align. Well, I can tell you, if you're hearing this message, the stars are aligned. They are perfectly aligned. They always have been. They always will be. What more do you need? Whose permission are you waiting for? Are you waiting for permission? I know a lot of people, they're waiting for permission. They're waiting for someone to tell them, hey, it's okay to go ahead and try this new thing, right? It's now the cool thing. Some people are just waiting to be like, man, I don't know about this guy. This isn't quite the cool thing yet. When it's the cool thing, then I'm going to do it. But here's the thing. If you're hearing this message, hearing it, not just listening for entertainment purposes, but you're truly hearing it in your heart and in your soul and your body, right? You're hearing the stories I'm talking about. You're hearing about my hitting rock bottom, getting up, dusting off, and continue going, doing life on life's terms, sober, man. Can you imagine? Sober lifestyle. Fuck. The beautiful thing is more and more people are starting to like evaluate what really is working and what hasn't been working, what's really holding them back. And the truth is, ain't nobody holding you back. No one is holding you back. You're the only person that can either get it done or never do it. And which do you want? You want to be someone that's remembered for never doing it? Or you want to be that motherfucker that gets it done? I hope that you jump on the get it done bandwagon, and you should start now. You should start now. It's a brand new season. Winter's here. The return of the light starts from this point forward. It's been getting shorter and shorter days, and now we start to regain the light. When are you going to allow your light to shine? When are you going to give yourself an honest look in the mirror and really start to have some compassion? That's an important piece to this. When you're walking around with that critical spirit on you, that critical mind, that negativity, all things that were projected upon you throughout your childhood, and you've just perpetuated that throughout life, it's hard to look at yourself with some compassion and be like, man, why am I behaving this way? Right? Why can't I get a hold of myself? Why can't I control myself in these types of situations? Why do I keep on screwing up? Right? Do you feel like that? Do you feel like you keep screwing up? You can't get it right? I can tell you, as long as you don't give up, and if you're willing to try new things, eventually it'll click. Eventually it'll click. But there are far too many people that are coming across this message. Y'all want the quick fix. You want it to happen quick versus putting in the work. And I wish there was a way. If there was a way for me to give you an absolute quick fix to all your problems, fuck, man, I would do it. I would do it. I want to see people healthy and happy and making a difference, feeling like they got a purpose in this life, that their life matters and the things they're doing matter, and that everything that's been holding you back, you can let go of, and you can move on, and you can heal. You can heal all that stuff. Do you realize that? That quick fix mindset though, man. That shit'll get... I know, man. I know we all want that easy. If you had a choice, right? Myself included. If I had a choice to say, hey, can it be done? Is there an easy way to do it or a really fucking hard way to do it? I'll be honest with you. In my heart of hearts, I definitely have wished that there was an easy way to do things. Throughout the course of my life, and definitely this journey, I've embraced the difficult. I've embraced the hard, because having that wanting it easy mindset, chances are I'm not going to get it done. Instead of being that motherfucking warrior. And I know that there's a lot of things I challenge people. It's like just basic shit. Could you get in a cold shower? I know a lot of you are like, I don't know, man. That's scary. It's hard. There's not a day that goes by. I literally sit there and I'm like naked and like looking at myself in the mirror and saying, oh man, do I really gotta do the cold shower today? Do I really? Today? I've already done it 1,000 times. Why do I gotta do it today? And there's just something inside of me. Sometimes I have to put some motivation shit, some fire breathing motivation. Like, y'all need to use that as a tool. I'm telling you, if you don't incorporate like motivational, inspirational, fire breathing, positive affirmation content, like throughout every day, all the time, you're gonna fall flat. You're gonna hit a low, and you're gonna half step. I mean, it really does take that. Like, if you gotta have that rah shit to just get your juices flowing, and I do, I turn it on. I say, let's get in there, man. Let's find the breath, get in that cold shower. And even no matter how many times I've done it, there's still a resistance point there. But I know that I have really hardened my mind, my mental frame, to be able to say, man, when we say we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. And even though we want to maybe pause for a moment, we're going to continue to embrace the hard things, the uncomfortable things. Are you willing to do that as well? That's what it's going to take for you to succeed. If you have that mindset where you want it to be easy and you think you need to be entertained all the time, day in and day night, and you also need to have all your cravings, going back to the beginning, this spirit of irritation, it's because you feel like there's a wound there. There's a big wound there. I used to be so irritable, and the sad thing is I used to get really short with my kids, my children, especially my son, right? He would be doing little, like, annoying little things, and man, it would fucking agitate me. And someone pointed that out to me, that I have a spirit of irritation, being agitated by something. It's like, wait, man, that's no big deal. I don't have to give focus to that. I don't have to be triggered by that. You don't either. And it was something I was able to work through and sit in. Because even that, when someone's irritating you or agitating you, or doing something that otherwise is kind of can make you nervous or frustrated, or just, it kind of, I don't know, it's an interesting thing, don't you think? We all have those, right? Someone chewing or, scratching something, or just people do things and it's like, fuck, it agitates us, it triggers us. How do you transcend that? I believe you got to get out of your head and get in your body more. There's something that you're not addressing within your own body. This is the heart of it. This is the heart of that feeling, is that there's something in your own body that you're not taking care of, that you're not addressing, that needs some attention. And that needs your attention, not being pissed off at somebody else, looking for someone else to blame for why you're pissed off and frustrated. And then all you do is, if you're like me, man, people would not feel safe around me, right? Be emotionally, right? Because if I'm always just getting all fucking angry, right? Aggro is what we'd call that, right? It's like, that's not it. I know everyone I'm talking to right now, there is a loving, kind, strong, right? Self-empowered, caring, nurturing, providing version of yourself. And the reason why I can guarantee that's there is because that's the higher self. The higher self is the one that's centered on yourself, the one that is truly aligned with your highest potential. It's not this wounded version of you. Most of us are carrying around wounded versions. And by wounded, how? Emotionally, spiritually, mentally wounded. And by doing that, you're living in these low frequencies. Anger, frustration, guilt, shame, sadness. Those are low energy, right? Depression, anxiety. Those are low energy frequencies. You're an energetic being. You're emitting an energetic frequency. And if you're in that category, you're on the bottom. Right? Versus being what? Happy, joyful, generous, loving, kind, authentic. Right? That's the real shift. It's when you get into those higher frequencies. And in order to do that, you got to do the work. And if you haven't yet, download the doggone app. Results kill excuses. Right? I know that a lot of people can feel a little hard pressed financially right now, but all the courses there are free. It's free, right? My gift to you, over a month's worth of self-discovery work. You do need a printer, so you got to print out the worksheets. It would be my greatest honor if you did have some bucks to purchase a complete workbook. I print and bind those myself. Real high quality, and I would love to ship that to you. And you'll see that link too when you download the app. But don't just sit on it. Do the work. Do the work. It's the greatest work. You need to learn. There's something to learn about yourself. How to start taking better care of yourself. How to start loving yourself. You know? The more and more people that I connect with and meet with, man, my heart goes out to so many of you because you're hurting. And it's like, I'm sitting there saying, oh, man, I know what would help them. And it's just connecting with that inner child, right? And realizing that here's one of the biggest takeaways. And it's really the big lesson. And how you make this, how you put this together is really what's going to set you up for a great success, is knowing that when you were a little kid, 0 to 10 years old, right? Whatever you witnessed, whatever happened to you, and in some cases, you didn't even have the parents around. So there was already a sense of abandonment and being unloved and being unworthy of someone's love and nurturing affection. And yet, if you ever experienced any kind of abuse or neglect, or even just how people talk to each other, I can tell you, for me, again, that spirit of irritation, usually when I'm feeling either insulted or I'm feeling misunderstood, my default is usually I start getting kind of like passionate, angry, loud. And it's like, none of that communicates your point any more clear. But yet that's how I was programmed, right? That's how I was trained. And you have a training as well. Adults trained you how to interact, especially in these intimate relationships. A lot of us, we can show up and be professional in the workplace, but it's in the intimate relationships, behind the closed doors, that we show our real self, that shadow side, the programming that was instilled in us from the earliest age. And it's usually the thing that leaves us the emptiest, because I don't think anybody on this planet intentionally wants to hurt somebody. But yet, when you get triggered, you don't have control. There's no control. You cannot control your triggers. This is how it works. And so it takes a lot of compassion, because one, you have to be willing to go down memory lane and realize all this shit that you went through. And it's a spiritual journey, because you need to go in there with some compassion, and you need to go in there with a lot of forgiveness, because there are people that hurt you. There are people that you felt abandoned by. There are people that abused you or neglect you or beat the shit out of you. I mean, it's sad. It's sad. But here's the thing, is that you get to redefine your past, and you get to write how the story ends. Did you hear that? Right, that's conditional. If you really want something more out of life, right, you can redefine everything bad that happened to you. But it takes facing it. And that's a painful thing. I know it's painful. It's emotionally painful. Maybe you need some help to do that. Reach out. Greg@resultskillexcuses.com. I've met with a lot of people. And even just in those 90-minute sessions, I know that it's helping. And there's obviously opportunity to work with me beyond that, but that's another story. At least start with, if you're searching, you're seeking, download the app. If you decide to reach out to me, 3 things: reach out, share some information about yourself, book an appointment, and make sure your ass shows up. That's all I ask. It literally does make my day when I get to connect with people and share some of my humanity, some of my healing, some of my experience in a very private way, right? That's unique to that person, as I'm sitting there and just being present. This is just general, right? Which also kind of freaks some of y'all out, because you're like, dang, man, this dude's reading my mail. How is he doing that? It's a gift. There is no doubt about it. I have what's called a word of knowledge, right? I do have a lot of people's mail. It's intuitive, clairvoyant, whatever you want to call it, And never would I ever use it against you. That's the other thing. There's always going to be confidentiality when you're interacting with me, right? I'm not here to hurt nobody no more. And even when I fucked up yesterday. I mean, I kind of lost my cool a little bit yesterday with someone, but I at least was able to circle around. Short account, man, short account. You know what? I'm sorry for getting defensive. I didn't mean to do that and just nip it in the butt. Take extreme ownership real fast versus, living in that place called denial, right? It's being more free. And I know that you're at least searching for the answers. And I know that if you continue to search, you'll find them. But it does take your willingness to try new things, to do new things, to experience new things. It also takes a forgiving heart. There's a lot of people, man, you're so hurt for a lot of reasons that you're just like, man, I've told myself I can never forgive that person for what they did. Well, I do hope that you'll reconsider that. That's a major declaration. And I know that when people hurt you, it's some of the things that people have experienced is heavy duty. It's really heavy duty shit. And I've been talking about forgiveness is not a two-way street. It's a one-way street. When you have that anger, and even if you feel it's justified, you're hurting yourself. And I would love to be able to inspire you to let that go so that you can move on, so that they can move on. Just, you let it go. It's done. They always say it's not about, you saying, forgiveness is not you saying that what they did is okay. It's just, you're giving yourself permission to move on and not keep reliving it, not continue to identify with it. And in order to do that, I think we need to be a little more honest with ourselves. Ain't nobody innocent, man. Like, someone hurt you, you've hurt lots of people. We've all hurt people. We've all done things that we regret that involve other people that have left them hurt. So, once you get to that place, it's like, really? Really? Right? It's kind of like taking a fresh shower, a fresh bath, right? It's invigorating to like release and to like wash yourself, cleanse yourself. Like, if you haven't had a shower, in like a while, maybe there's like a few days that go by, like when you take a shower and you really just scrub up and then you get out, and it's like, even when I started this video, I just got out of the shower. And I started with a cold shower and I went to a hot shower, and then just being outside in the sun right now is so beautiful. I feel fresh. I feel renewed. And if I was still carrying around like some anger because of someone that hurt me a lot of years ago or some betrayal, I don't think it would be as sweet. Right? Life gets a lot sweeter when we learn to forgive and let go. We get lighter, right? And that's a good thing. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope that you realize right now, I'm gonna light a little fire. I hope you realize this is a new season. It's time to really dial it in, really lock in to something. And I do continue to point you at the Results Kill Excuses app. Get in that coursework, but I got something new coming. And I think it's going to help a lot of people. It's going to help a lot of people. And I'm going to give you, if you made it this far, I'll give you a hint as to what it is. So I'm going to be launching what I'm calling 1% Better Everyday Journal. And it's real basic. It's got 2 worksheets on it. And I've broken it down into a full year journal, but it's broken down into 3-month volumes. So there's 4 volumes. It's 90 days, and it's coming out very soon. And so be on the lookout for that. I think a lot of you, journaling is a new thing. I know when I started journaling, I was really searching for a lot of prompts and guidance, and I think that what I have cooked up is going to really help you to hold yourself accountable And that's really what it is. 1% better every day. It's an accountability journal that I think is going to give you the reflection and the focus that you need to start really getting some breakthroughs, getting some traction, allowing yourself to really grow and to see yourself growing. And it takes just every single day, quick snapshots, gratitude, right? Looking at things that you did good. And that's one of the hardest things. And that's a part of the worksheet, right? What are some of the things you did good? What are some things you can do better? And then what are your 3 priorities that matter? There's also some affirmations, and I've also broken it down into going from self-sabotage to self-mastery over the course of a year with some short prompts, not real deep prompts, but just some quick reflections about starting to look in the mirror. And so I'm really excited to be on the verge of launching that. And I've got a couple other surprises. And I think that everything that I'm putting out here is really coming from my own creative, divine inspiration, working with God to be able to help people. As I hear some of the things that people need, as I can connect with more and more people, it's like, I want to set you up for success. And I want you to feel like it doesn't have to be hard, that it doesn't have to be arduous. It just takes your willingness to show up each and every day 1% better, 1% better, just a little bit better every single day. And if you're willing to do that daily reflection, that daily sifting, and really talk about the things that matter, right? I'm literally trying to end the whole goals. Goals seem so far away. But when you start talking about 3 things that matter to you each and every day, on my list, working out. It was on there. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go do it right after this. And I hope that if exercise matters to you, that again, part of this new product, this new journal, 1% better every day, self-accountability journal is going to be something that's going to really help you to focus in, to lock in, and to start smashing some of your dreams and your desires, bringing those things into your reality. I know you're worthy of it. Do you feel worthy? Do you feel like anything you can imagine, anything that you desire, anything that you have as a vision inside of you for your life is possible? And I'm going to show you that way. I'm going to keep shining my light, and I know that you're going to start shining yours. And I'm encouraging you to shine it as bright as possible. And the way you do that is you got to uncover everything that's covering the light within you. We're carrying around a lot of shit that we need to toss out. And the time is now. And it's a great time to do that. A lot of us, we think about spring cleaning. Forget that. It's right now. New season. Finish this year strong. Clean out. Clear out. Start to declutter and simplify your life. Simplify your spaces. Let go. Release. The more stuff you can release, I'm telling you, the lighter, the more focused you will be. If you haven't cleaned out your house, your room, a closet, your car, if you haven't done that in a while, and life gets so busy, we don't. I can promise you, make it a priority to do that between now and the end of the year, to do as many of those things and as many of those spaces. Clear out the clutter and watch that your focus, your attention, and your energy doesn't improve and increase. That's what it's all about. 1% better every single day. I love you guys. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it won't be worth it. Greg's out.